call sign Norway. 3, Golf, Mike, Norway. Norway. 3, Golf, Mike, Norway. Over.
Roger, Roger. And what's the man's best friend's name?
Name is George Juliet Oscar Hotel November. And that is Andy Man. With hoopty in the back. Turn another thing off. It is dinner time for the Beagle, over.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, he's got all the makings of a good ham, a nice loud voice. That's the first criteria, Roger.
Oh yeah, he lets us know when we do not forget. He will not let you forget what time it is, even though every day about 4:30, he gets his place. Let's see here, operating a Kenwood CS 680 Sugar. 680 Sugar. That is a friend of mine's station, and I'm running a 922A also, and we're about 600 or so. It's wired to 110, not to 220. As per his location, he was downsizing. A good home. And I've been on this thing for about a month now. And I get a kick out of the old radio. It's a really nice radio. And the microphone is an MC80 desk mic Kenwood. So he set up a basic Kenwood station, over.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Well, it's doing a good job there. Audio is crisp. It probably, my pet peeve is always a couple of clicks more on the top end. I am trying to bring the FH world into the 2 meter and 70 centimeter world, audio quality-wise, even though, obviously there are some more limitations on HF than there are on the UHF and VHF. Still, one can try to get as best audio and as crisp audio as possible. Roger?
Oh, Roger. My buddy there, he had an outboard. I'm on an outboard equalizer also. 7-band? Yeah, 7-band. I just did bump up the top end a little bit. And, the only other issue I'm having with the radio is just lack of use on the sliders for the power and RF gain and the mic control. So I got the radio mic about halfway. And I'm only driving about 75, 65 watts. So I did bump up the top end on the outboard equalizer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Roger, yes, and it sounds a lot better, I think. So now, what are the issues with the radio? That's a 100-watt radio, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a 100-watt radio. I'm already driving 65 into the amp now, and I'm doing about 500 odd or so. It's just lack of use. He had the radio a long time and wanted to do a Kenwood station with the, I got the matching tuner here, the power supply, and the Kenwood amp. And then he had to downsize. So I said, well, what we'll do, I have a spot on my desk, and I will set it up there. And I do not know how long it'll be here. This may be here for a while. And he says, well, I want you to use it. So we've been running it. And it's very nice. I like it. I always like the 680 series anyway. But lack of use is a big problem with sliders and pots. You know that. And that's the only thing I've been having an issue with is due to lack of use. A little iffy here and a little iffy there, and we'll finally get it settled in, and hopefully it'll stay this way for a long time. Over.
Roger. Now, I have used for many years WD-40 as a pot cleaner lubricant. If it's possible for you to get to those controls, if you used just a hit of WD-40 in the inside the pot there, that will solve that problem for about 3 or 4 years. You want to be careful that you get it in the pot and don't get it all over everywhere, but just in the pot, just one hit or two, and then manipulate the pot, and that will solve that issue for about 3 years. Roger?
Oh, Roger. That's on the list to do. It is just comparing, my usual radio, which is a Kenwood TS2000 and a KL811. The Kenwood amp and, Kenwood radio, it plugs in, is really sweet. And it's just, back in the day, in our younger days, you saw these radios in the magazines and you wondered if you'd ever get to operate one. Well, I can finally say, the Kenwood amp and the Kenwood radio, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. I just wish the other ham will, get his stuff straightened out, and then we can get this all set back up. In fact, I even have his antenna out in the garage. The whole station. I got 2-meter rigs, 440 rigs. Oh my word! But we got to get him back on the air.
Roger. Now, sounds like he might be taking a direct hit from the wife or something, Roger.
Oh, that'd be wife number 2. And, work-wise. And, he's busy and never home. And wound up just, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. But it all catches up to you. And it caught up to him. And then realized that, I'm not on the radio that much. I could sell the equipment. And then I kind of broke the news to him that the market's like crap. I said, he looked. He searched for 3 years to find the Kenwood amplifier in great or good condition. He would have took good. This thing looks like it come out of the box. He found it was an eBay deal, and it's just. I said, you can't get, if you're going to sell it, you're just going to give it away. I said, I can't see you doing that. You're going to give away this stuff. And now, if it's in a safe location, far away from, giving the equipment away, over. Oh, N3GMN, by the way.
Roger there, sir. I was just wondering, does that radio have onboard EQ, or did you say you had outboard EQ on it?
Yeah, we have outboard EQ. Mic goes to the EQ board, and then the EQ board plugs into the conventional microphone socket. Over.
Roger, if you had a little more top end, up around 3K boost top end, I would flatten, I don't know. How many band EQ is that outboard?
7. I just turned up the 31 a little bit, about two notches on the 31.
Oh, it helps a lot. And I would take that 1K, I would flatten that 1K. The whole idea about EQ is top to bottom relationship to the mid-range. So, you never want to have to really stretch the top and the bottom. So that's what happens if you also boost the mid-range. So I keep that mid-range 1K, I keep that flat. So then my top and bottom has much more effect as far as balance, Roger.
Roger, Jim. That's what we did. We got that there, and right about there. And that's the problem. I got a freaky voice on these things, too. That's why, with the conditions of the previous operator, he said, I don't like it. I'm going to get me an outboard equalizer. So that's how that came about. And then he had this thing tuned to his voice. Oh, my word. So now I, got it set to mine. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How's sound now?
Yes, sir. Now, just as an experiment, how close were you to the microphone? Pretty close, like 1 inch?
Oh, no, I'm a good 6-8 inches away from it.
Oh, roger that, roger that. I was going to do the old, low frequency build-up in reverse. It does sound, like maybe it has a little bit more on the bottom end or thereabouts. So I was going to have you pull back just a little bit. But if you're past 4 inches, that would be the furthest I would have you pull back just to see what happens to the bottom end. But anyway.
How do you get through to Mr. Microphone?
I'm sorry?
What's the best way to get through to you?
Talk.
You go ahead and finish your Qso. I'd love to hear what you have to say. My call is November 4, Echo Delta X-Ray.
Well, if you'll hang on, sir, do you have a moment?
Yes, sir, I do. I'll stand by.
Alrighty, right now we're just finishing up with John. He's doing a kind of a demo for his neighbor's radio, as near as I can figure it. Roger, John?
Yep, that'll work. I did turn the bottom end on, and the N4 station, if you're copying the N3 station, you're sounding good up here in Pittsburgh, for lack of better term, a location in between Pittsburgh and Butler, PA, southwest. And yeah, this thing is just back on the really cool side, Jim. How's that? And I'll let you go and let you get some more people in here.
Roger, John. Maybe next time we can work on your dynamic range and kind of fatten it up just a tad. Like I say, right now it is fairly unprocessed as far as dynamic range, about a 10 dB dynamic range, where ideally we would want about a 3 dB dynamic range, which would, fatten it up quite a bit. But maybe next time, Roger.
Roger. Probably next Friday or next Friday after that, if we're all in here and still kicking. KC9VKV from N3GMN. Thank you much, sir. And we'll get down to the N4 station there.
Roger, John. 3's that way, sir. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor and the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. We are recording from now until 5.